And then first things first, take these caps off of here, both of them. We're gonna take one of these. It's a valve core remover tool. Usually you would use it for like a valve core on like a tire. Pull our little Schrader valve right out of here. That one doesn't have any air in it. Toss it in there. Yep, look at that, they both shrunk. I'm gonna set that fork in there just like that. You cannot tighten this down super tight. Just enough to where you can get the end of this and smack it free. Look at that. That one's cracked loose. We're gonna do the same thing to the other one. For real, you do not need to tighten this very tight. I don't know if you can see my fingers or not, but I'm not tightening it hardly at all. There we go. And look, no marks anywhere, not even on the sticker. Let's dump all the oil in here. Is there oil in there? Okay, there is oil in there. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with this one. These things don't look like they were done that long ago. Or is that just me? We'll let those sit there and drain for just a minute, and then we'll come back and we'll start on disassembling the rest of the forks. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. So I just went over there and looked, and the pink red oil is a Honda oil, at least the one that I know of that's pink or red is, and it's 10 weight, and Honda's 5 weight oil is it's clear. It's kind of like the Maxima fork oil that I'm getting ready to use now. So that's kind of weird because these forks call for 5 weight oil, not 10. First things first, gotta check our clickers. So run this cap back down on there, just like that. So now I'm going to, right here, I'm gonna start clicking this in until I find the bottom. So we're gonna go in to hard, to H. There's S and H, soft and hard. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 10. So 10 clicks in, and then we're gonna turn this all the way out. It's 10 clicks out. Now we're gonna turn this all the way out and just lightly seat it against the out. Do the same thing over here. 2, 3, 4, 10. So both lowers are at 10. We're gonna go over to our book real quick and write that down. And then we're going to go up here. And for these forks, when I'm done with them, I'm gonna look up the manufacturer clickers and see what they are, because that's probably what it's gonna get set back to. But this top one, do the same thing, go hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 22 clicks. I think it was all the way out. 1, 4, 5, 6, 20, 21, 20, yep. 21 clicks is all the way out on that. It's already all the way out, and it's like tight out too. So now that you got all your clickers set out, get us a 17 millimeter and the axle. Good, take this nut off of here for now. And we can stick our axle in here like this. That way we can lay it flat on the table. There you go. There we go, so take that all the way out. Then we're gonna do the same thing over here. Stick our axle in like that, just like that. Okay, that's all the way out. So now we don't need the axle anymore. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna set this one off to the side because we're gonna do this one first. And this just slides back like that, and it gives us access right here. So that's a 15. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna lay our wrench right here on the table like this, and then we're going to hold it and break that free. Then you can move this all the way down so that there's a gap right here between this and that. You take this cap, pull it all the way off there. Then we can go back to the other end. Take this cap loose, just like that, and then this whole rod and everything is gonna come out. And you're gonna have 2 pieces just like that. Easy squeezy. We're gonna grab this rod out of the end right here and slide it out. It's your dampening rod. And we're gonna set this off to the side for the time being because we're gonna work on this. We're gonna work on getting this stuff apart. So first thing, we'll slide this apart a little bit. We're gonna get our flathead and we're gonna pop this dust seal out of there, just like that. We're gonna get our little flathead. We're gonna go right down in here, and there's these little humps pry underneath of them to get this ring out. I don't know if you can see that right there, but we're gonna open this up, pull it down. There's that. When it's in there, you can get right underneath these little indents and like pry on it, and it'll come right up. Now comes the fun part. Slide hammer. Just like that. mean, that's pretty much it as far as getting them apart. You can check out the inside of this. We're gonna spray some cleaner down in there and get that all cleaned out. We got some various different seals down here. This is our main seal. You can kind of see some dirt on the outside of it. And we have a plastic collar, a metal sleeve, and then we have our outer bushing and our inner bushing. And all that stuff looks good. I mean, this is usually will turn copper when you need to replace it, and this one, the inside of this one will turn copper when you need to replace it. So, okay, so now that you got this apart, take your little flathead, find the center of this upper bushing, put your flathead in there, turn it, and then walk the bushing up and off out of its home. Okay, and that's gonna be the first piece we land on. Okay, so we're gonna set this right here. We'll set our bushing on here first. That's the first thing we pulled out. And then the second bushing. And then we pull this out, and its rounded top is facing up. So that's how we're gonna put it back in there. This doesn't really have an orientation, it looks the same on both sides, so that'll go next. And then main seal. Let's see how this is going in there. You can see it's got this metal band down like that. So this is how it went on there. I'm gonna go ahead and open up one of these new packs just to be sure that they look the same. Okay, so they kind of look the same. It was like this on there with this metal spring going down. So we'll put this one on there like that. And the last seal, which is your dust seal. Everything is disassembled. And it's time to clean. I'm gonna wipe all this stuff out and spray some contact cleaner on it and get me a fresh rag. Especially this sealing surface inside here, you want to make sure that this is nice and clean. So when you put that new seal inside there, it doesn't rip and it stays where it's supposed to be at. This isn't the most perfect way, but this way will work. Mind you, it is in this vise, not very tight. I'm gonna take this wrench, stick it on here like this. This is a 21 up here on top, but I don't have a 21 right now. That's what happens when you let your friends borrow your tools. If you don't get them back, I'm gonna release this. Okay, that's all the way up. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reach down here and we're gonna push up on this. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna pull this up out of here. Just like that. We'll take this out of here and dump all of it in here. Pull our damping rod out. Push it back in. Pull it out. Wipe all this stuff down. Get as much of this old fluid off of here as possible. The fluid didn't look bad, even inside this. Usually this is the piece that ends up being gross because people don't know that you need to change the fluid in this when you do the outers. There we go. That's all clean. Check out our valve stack, make sure it looks good. Everything looks good to me. The oil was clean. Somebody Loctited the nut. It's not loose. Okay, that looks good. Wish I knew enough to be able to tell what was done to this to change it. So the manual says 12 ounces of fork fluid. Push up on this damping rod until it's at the top, and then slowly fill this up without letting it come out the side holes. Fill it up to the side holes. You'll see the bubbles coming out. Pull the rod down. Okay, this time I'm going to pull it down like this. Add the rest of my oil. And we're going to cycle this damping rod. Go up and down. All the way up. All the way down. Okay, so all the fluid is in there now. Now we're gonna push up on this damping rod. Push it all the way up to the top. We're gonna get this. I'm gonna put a little bit of fresh fluid right around these seals. We just know that they got fluid on them. We're gonna stick this in here. We're gonna hold this dampening rod. And let the dampening rod slowly come out as we push this down in there. Go ahead and start threading this down on there. There we go. What we're gonna do, push this dampening rod all the way down, and you're gonna get up extra fluid that comes out at the top. There we go. Wipe this all down. So that damper rod is done. We got a clean rag. Spray spray some of our Tusk first line contact cleaner on that rag. Wipe this all down. There we go. We go ahead and get our 48 millimeter one. Stick it right on the end of this, just like that. The only reason I poured this extra fluid was so that I can use it to install. Go ahead and put some oil around that. First thing to go on, dust seal. A little bit of oil, put it right around the inside of this. I'm gonna slide this right on here like that. Start our main seal on. Got this going up. A little bit of oil down in here. And slide that on there too. Actually, this is supposed to go in here. We can go ahead and take our seal bullet off of here. Then we can go ahead and toss on our plastic spacer. We're gonna toss on this washer. Remember, rounded side up. We're gonna toss on our outer bushing. It's already got oil in it, but I'm gonna throw a little bit more in there anyway. Slide that on there just like that. And then we got our outer bushing. Just pull that one right down on there just like that. Next, we'll grab our fork tube. We're gonna spray some of this stuff out. Got a nice clean fork tube. We'll go ahead and take a little bit of oil and put it around this bushing. We'll slide this on here, just how it's supposed to be. Then we'll go ahead and slide up our inner bushing and our spacers and our seal. I'm gonna grab our 48 millimeter seal driver. We're actually gonna slide this back, slide those up there. Tap them up in there where they go so that they're already in their home. We're gonna slide our new seal up in there. We're gonna grab our seal driver, put it back on there. There we go. You can feel and hear the change. You can feel the change in the tube and you can hear the change audibly when that thing bottoms out. So then we'll check up in there, make sure our groove for this is open. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stick our little lock ring down in there. Just get it started, and then you can take a small screwdriver or a pick or something. Just finish pushing in there and you'll hear it click once it's down in its home. Go around, make sure it's all the way in its home all the way around. Verify that it is, and it is. So there's that portion. This part right here is a little bit controversial, but I still do it sometimes. I'm gonna put a light layer of grease right around the inside of here. And then I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna put my foot in your ass if you say "and then" again! And then take a little bit of fork fluid and rub it around the outside of this fork seal. Slide it right up into that. And then slide this down and push it on. There we go. I'm gonna take this fresh cartridge that we just finished, slide it right down into its home. Then we'll throw this cap right back on there. Now we'll bring our dampening rod back over and we'll put it in right here. Make sure that this block is threaded all the way down on the threads. Thread this back on there just until it seats. And you should be able to see a gap right inside there. So now what we're gonna do, since this is all the way seated down at the bottom of this rod, we're gonna tighten this back up against it, like that. We're gonna use this 17 to hold it in place, and then we're gonna turn this 15. There we go. We're gonna extend this out, slide this back up in there. Get our axle back out, stick it in here, tighten this down. There we go. 250 cc's, milliliters of fork fluid, 5-weight Maxima. Now we'll go ahead and slide this back up. Just give that a little snug down. Ain't gonna be super tight. Get our Schrader valve and we'll put it back right inside there. Like that. This back up here. And we're gonna fill this up until it's at 35 PSI. And you can see the fork extending back there. I think 34 and a half, 35, 35 and a half, 36. And go ahead and pull our air pump off of here. Those feel pretty good. I'm gonna set these back to stock clicker settings. This end, which is your rebound, I wanna go all the way in, all the way into hard, 9, 10. We got 10 there. This one was already turned all the way out. We're gonna turn it all the way in. 13, 14 clicks out. Try this again. Oh yeah, that feels really nice. Feels really nice. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check this air pressure one more time, set it to 36 again if it's not. And this fork leg will be ready to go back on the bike. 35.5, which isn't bad because I had to reconnect the hose. I think it only lost what it took to fill the line back up. So what we're gonna do this time is we're gonna do 36.5, and then
no ending.
Right there you could hear it lose a little bit of air, which is about that ½ pound. So go ahead and put our cap back on here. That KYB fork is ready to go back on the bike. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other fork done, and then we can go ahead and put them back on the bike. Turned out pretty good. These forks are pretty easy to do, and if you got just a little bit of tools or got a little bit of money to spend on tools, I'm telling you, for the price that you pay somebody to do something like this, because like I know that I'm pretty cheap already. I charge $70 a leg just to change the seals, and you got to buy the seals and fluid. And for that amount of money, honestly, you can go buy all the tools that you need to do this yourself, and then you'll have them for the next time that something else needs them done. And if you get a bike that has a common size suspension like this 48mm tube, then most other bikes that you're going to get are going to have the same, they're going to need the same tools to do the same job, so you have them for the future. So honestly, in my opinion, you're better off to just buy the tools if you got a little bit of know-how, and do it your damn self. There's my 2 cents. Let's get this other fork done so that we can toss these back on the bike. All right, we are back. It's Monday, and we're gonna go ahead and get the front end wrapped up on this. I got a little busy the other night, and I tinted some windows for a friend of mine on his car, which is not something I normally do, but he's a good friend, and went ahead and got him hooked up and tinted those windows real quick. First thing on the chopping block today is get this done. Got some parts and stuff to clean up before we can put it all back together. So we're gonna go ahead and get that stuff cleaned up, and then we will come back and we'll put these forks back on the bike. First fork is gonna be this one. Doesn't have the front brake leg, so it's gonna go on your right side if you're sitting on the bike. So on these forks, you can see right here, there's two lines. I'm gonna set them right at the top of the top line. That's 5mm of, technically your forks are up in the triple clamps 5mm. I'm happy with that right there, so. Want our bleeders forward. Now we get this caliper. We're actually gonna wash this caliper up a little bit first. I'm gonna spray it on the stuff, but that's not the pads. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just think that a little cleaner. That way, when I do power wash the bike next, I can be sure to hit this again. Put this back on here. And then I need to grab a screwdriver because some dumbass grabbed the front brake lever and pulled it in. And if you need to know who the dumbass is, it was me. Oh man, I put this on there wrong. Stupid. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. This. Make sure you put your brake line on the inside. He's too tight because he's wheel strip. There we go. Snug them down. Grab our wrench, snug these down too. Make sure they're nice and tight. There we go. Then we're gonna go ahead and get some grease on our axle right here. That way it slides in and out of there the way it's supposed to. Go ahead and grab our wheel, and we're gonna wipe this spacer off because it's dirty. We want our stuff to be good and clean when it goes back together. That way we know we don't have no issues with it again. We're gonna clean this up too. We're gonna wipe this seal down too. Just gonna go around the inside of this with some fresh grease on both sides. Push this seal back in there, the spacer in. I'm gonna toss this dust guard back on here. There we go. All right, now we'll go ahead and get our nut. And this is a 22mm nut. The reason I tightened up the other side is because this axle is supposed to be all the way to this side first. Get it torqued down where you need them. And loosen these ones. Now we're gonna go through here and we're gonna torque these. Again, you wanna make sure that you're doing this evenly and you go back and forth between the two that are on the same tab. As if you can see, they keep tightening up little by little each. There we go. I'll do the same thing over here. There we go. And then these pinch bolts, but you want to do them evenly because it's a pinch bolt. Go ahead and pump your front brake back up to where it's grabbing again. Spin your tire a couple times, jar that front end, get this side right. And then there we go. That's back on there. Wheel spin smooth. Doesn't sound like it's touching on that. Oh man, she feels way taller already. Oh yeah, I actually feel like I'm being held up. This is so much better than it was. I'm super excited, I'm super happy, and I'm stoked to try this thing out again. If this is the kind of content that you guys enjoy or you learned something here today, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay tuned for future videos. Hit the like button because it helps us out more than you could possibly fathom. And if you guys would like to support us even further, make sure you head over to BraapBoyz.com, pick you up some cool ass merch. So, with all that said, I'll catch you guys back here next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern on the Braap Boyz YouTube channel.